Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another news video for Final Fantasy XIV. This time we're looking at the Starlight Celebration 2020, which will be taking place on Monday, December the 14th, 2020 at 12 AM PST, and lasts all the way up until Thursday, December the 31st at 6:59 AM PST. This is something that happens every year, and this year is not going to be without. We were worried if there would even be an event this year, but thankfully 2020 is not going without having a wonderful celebration to end it. So thankfully Square Enix have put together some great rewards for this. The banner art at the top is adorable. We have lots of children enjoying Christmas. We have the aura at the front with what appears to be a little bit like an advent calendar or something, this wooden box full of surprises behind every door. We have a little girl making a snow person with a little ribbon on its head. This is absolutely adorable. And then we've got a little Makote child cheering on the unveiling and dressing of this large pine tree. Beautiful. This takes place then in Old Gridania at Miketo's Amphitheatre at X 10.2, Y 9.4 with the NPC Amgaranji, and you can do this level 15 and above. The quest is called A Festive Fiasco, and it says, "'Tis the season of that year again, and Amgaranji is making plans for an extra special Starlight." It does say Smiles forestalled a Starlight setback, so presumably there'll be some, you're going to be saving Christmas, basically, much like every year. The rewards then include a mount, which is the Snowman Bell, which gives you the Snowman Mount, as you can see in that middle picture above. It says, "For some reason, ringing this bell summons forth a behatted and begloved embodiment of festive cheer. With that in mind, it would be rather a shame not to ring it." We saw this on the live letter, actually. Yoshi P demonstrated this, basically bobbing around. So as this mount moves, you lift up the head and it sort of bounds around, and you can see your character inside of it. And when you're stood still, you turn into a static sort of snowman like this, with fractal particles floating off. There is size differences, so this mount does scale with your race selection. This is actually a Lalafell on the left, and presumably maybe a Rogadin on the right, maybe even just a Makote. But yes, there is size differences, which is really cool, especially on these. It's quite adorable to see a little baby snowman. You could have a snowman family, couldn't you? Quite fun. The next item then is an outdoors furnishing, which is called the Snow Duster Tree. It says, "Few realize that this snow that rests on its boughs is in fact cake icing." Fantastic. So we have snow-covered trees. This is something I've wanted for the longest time. I've mentioned this before in previous videos, how it would be nice if we could have snow-covered pine trees, because we already have pine trees. It turns out we got them. The other item is an indoors furnishing, which is an Unmelting Ice Partition. This is designed to be a partition indoors to create the effect of an icy dungeon or an icy wall. It says, "One of the few furnishings that must rely on mystic energies simply to maintain structural integrity." Obviously, it's unmelting, so we're using dark magic so it doesn't melt. And finally, the Unmelting Ice Loft. It says, "Though the ability to defy the laws of gravity and nature is certainly impressive, the best thing about this handy platform is that footprints can be made in the thin layer of snow on top. Go ahead and try it." So there we go. As the tooltip is to be believed, you'll be able to walk around like you can in ordinary snow outside and the snow print stuff and leave footprints temporarily, which is quite fun. I quite like the idea of having that. And the sound effects for snow in this game are fantastic. If you put your sound effects all the way up, I do like walking around in snow with that crunch noise. These platforms remind me of something out of Spyro the Dragon. I love this. I'm tempted to get a ton of these through the event from farming through the, no doubt, repeatable quest that you have to do to get the tokens to get these free items. So I can make like a Spyro the Dragon inspired jumping puzzle. That'd be quite fun. And we've got all these stalactites below as well. Very cool. I like those a lot. Obviously, the mount will be from the completion of the quest. And these three items will be from the vendor, no doubt. Either for Gil or for tokens from the event. We'll have to wait and see. Very interesting. Nice selection of items. The mount is obviously the biggest reward. Everyone I know personally would love to have a snowman mount. And the tree, the wall item, the furnishing items such as the partition and the ice loft. It's nice to have another variety of ice loft, of loft rather, so we can make some interesting platforms as well as some different decoration for inside. It's really cool. We don't have that stuff before, and you better get as many of these as possible this year, because next year they have a habit of putting the previous year's stuff into the cash shop, and it's going to be the same this year. It says certain items available during previous iterations of the event can be obtained via the seasonal shop. So anything from last year's event or before have a good chance of being in there if they're not already. Anyway, let me know what you think about the 2020 edition of Starlight Celebration. Are you happy with the rewards? I'm going to find it very difficult to see anyone disagree with a Snowman Mount, but let me know below, and I'll see you all next time.